It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies, current releases, coming attractions, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors, beware, because you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim.
Hey, hey.
Hello, Jim. And Murray.
Yo.
Hello, Murray. So, with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks, Bryce, and thanks, Jeff, for taking us into these fabulous studios. Our first segment we're going to jump into is called Movies That Came Out Last Week. And just as a prequel, so for those of you, obviously this is the first time we're doing our podcast, and hopefully be streaming for many, many years to come. We have a rating system that we've developed over years and years of high-level analysis to come up with the best rating system for a film. It's three simple, very simple words. And if you can't figure out what they are, you have to re-listen to our first podcast to be able to understand our rating system. So the first one means the film is great, it's fantastic, it's Mondo! And then we have, if the film was just okay, like it was you liked it, it was okay, it's meh. Yeah, there you go. And if it's so terrible that you either would tell your Grandma, you should watch this as punishment for being a terrible grandmother for the years that you've been one, then you want to tell her, Grandma, this film was rage
on.
So we're going to go into movies that came out last week. So we got a few films that we want to talk about from last week. We've seen, actually...
I think we've seen them all.
Yeah, Murray's seen them all, but
no, I haven't
we've seen them all. So, yeah. Bryce, I'll let you start out with, in my opinion, my favorite one from last week.
Knives Out. Basically, it's about a detective who investigates the death of a patriarch of an eccentric, combative family. I'll have to take a deep breath before I say who stars in it, because it is a long list. We got Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, Christopher Plummer, Don Johnson, Toni Collette, Michael Shannon, and Ana de Armas, which I don't believe I've ever seen her in anything before.
No, I can't say I've seen her in anything.
Which was crazy because she was a focal part of the movie.
She's a star of the film.
She's like, don't spoil it. Oh, sorry. No spoilers here. She's the star.
She really is.
Yeah.
Saw it, enjoyed it. Tremendous ensemble cast. I really enjoyed it. It was 90 minutes of fun.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think first off, you got Jamie Lee Curtis, right? So I mean, it could be my childhood, closet
obsession.
hidden boner for Jamie Lee Curtis, but I mean that lady is beautiful. She's no matter what she's in, she just captivates the screen. And then you've got Daniel Craig, which has some controversy with our group here, but
a little bit,
yeah. Murray's not a big fan of Daniel Craig, but I love Daniel Craig. I think he added so much to the whole Bond franchise.
Daniel Craig's excellent in everything he's done, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a Daniel Craig movie and going, boy, that would have been better if Daniel Craig wasn't in the role.
Yeah, no, I would
absolutely not.
100%. And do you remember that movie he made a few years ago where he was a Jewish freedom fighter, sort of in the jungles of...
Yeah, we were just talking about this recently. Defiance, that's it. I was like, how can I forget the name of that movie again?
He was not James Bond, but he still kicked ass in that movie, right? I mean,
that movie kicked ass. That was an excellent, excellent movie.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got where we've talked in the past about these ensemble casts where you've got, multiple actors who are like A-list players, like this film. And which is kind of funny because they're all kind of like bit parts. That was the whole thing, is that nobody outshined everybody. Everybody had their moment, and it was very, very well done. They nobody went on, and we didn't have like a whole full. Like I really expected Jamie Lee Curtis from the previews to be like a major part of this film, and not that she wasn't. But everybody was a major part of this film, and nobody really got a bigger part than anybody. And they kind of played supporting cast to Ana de Armas' character. Yeah.
And I thought it worked really well.
Did you mention that Michael Shannon was in this?
I did mention that Michael Shannon is it.
Oh, that dude is like the best in everything.
If Michael Shannon's in the movie, I'm going to see it.
Yeah, you know what? I think. Okay, I'm gonna announce this right now. So Jeff is my witness. We are making a list.
Checking it twice.
We're gonna make a list of people that are the undoubted. So when they're in a movie, undoubted. So when we have the undoubted, that means no matter what they're in, you're gonna see this film. So obviously, Michael Shannon's one of them. Jamie Lee Curtis, to me, is on them. Okay, let's just make sure we got a unanimous decision here. Is Jamie Lee on all our lists for Undoubted?
No.
What did she make that you didn't like?
True Lies.
That was awesome! What are you talking
That's
about?
blasphemy right
That's
there.
blasphemy. James Cameron, and she does a striptease? Come on.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you have a point.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
So, okay, maybe Jamie... Well, we can all agree on Michael Shannon for now. So far, we have one person on that list.
Yeah.
The list will grow, I'm
This will
sure.
grow.
It will.
And obviously, Daniel Craig can't make it because Murray's not a fan. No. But I think so. Let's just give it a quick rating for Knives Out. It's definitely Mondo.
Mondo.
All right, so we got 3 Mondos across the board for Knives Out. Thank you, all that team of players here.
That's right.
So now we're going to talk about Queenie and Slim. So Queenie and Slim came out last week. Bryce and I were lucky enough to get a preview of this.
Thought I was lucky initially.
Yeah, no, don't spoil. Don't spoil. There's a surprise ending here because as you're watching it, like the whole time, I'm going, this pacing is amazing. The acting was fantastic.
So good.
Yes, until the last 40 minutes of the movie. And it's like, there was an assimilation to Thelma and Louise. And that's really what it was. At 40 minutes before the end of the movie, they drove off of a cliff.
Pretty much.
It was like
figuratively in this.
It was figuratively, yeah. I mean, we don't want to do any spoilers here, but
yes. But yeah, no, just what you're saying. I mean, when I sat down and started watching this movie, 10 minutes in, I'm like, this is really, really good. Half hour in, I'm like, this is like better than really good. Like I am really enjoying this. About 40 minutes in, I'm still hooked in. I'm thinking this might be one of the better movies of the year. And then the end happened, and stuff just started
falling apart.
No other way to put it.
It was the writers. The writers ruined that film, I think. In my opinion, it
so
was a
much
flaw in the
potential.
writing. And actually, you know what? The director, I got to say, Murray, do you know who directed that? But
Queen and Slim?
Yeah. But so, I mean, part of the fall down, the acting was really superb, but the script and the direction as you're going through it and you're watching this film and you're like, okay, surprise me, because so far I'm with you all along on this ride. But it just got so predictable. It was kind of like we could write, if we said, what's the worst American drama ending that you could have?
There it was.
It was there. It was there. And you know how I feel about American dramas at the best of time. It's like literally my least favorite film to watch.
And that was the whole thing. I'm like, okay, I think I know where they're going to go now, but I'm hoping that they don't. And then they did. And I'm okay. But now they're going to do something a little different. They're not going to go exactly where I think they're going to go now. And then they did again.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And then I thought the ending was just dumb. Just going back a little bit, though, even one part where it was kind of not early on, but it's where it started to fall apart for me, was it just me, or when they took that car and burn it out, there was 2 cars that were driving there, okay? They burnt out one car, and then Queen and Slim drove away in the other car. So does that mean that poor Uncle Earl was just standing there waiting for a ride?
Yeah, I remember that in the movie. Well, we don't want to give that away for some people who are going to see this. But
well, that's not giving anything away. That was just one more thing where I was like, what is going on?
You got to forget,
was he going to walk home? That was a long drive.
You don't own a cell phone, so that would be for you. But he has Uber.
Yeah, I don't have one of them fancy walk-around phones.
That's walking around phones. Well, okay, let's give a quick rating for Queenie and Slim. For me, I got to say, it could have been a Mondo, but it ended up being meh, because the first half of the movie I did like.
Rage! It was so bad. It started off so good, and then it was so bad.
So bad. All right, well, speaking of bad... Bryce, why don't you take us to what we also saw last
I don't know
weekend?
that we're speaking of bad in this case, but The Irishman. I think we all saw it.
Yeah, we did.
Basically, it's a mob hitman who recalls his possible involvement with the slaying of Jimmy Hoffa, directed by Martin Scorsese. Of course, it stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Ray Romano, Harvey Keitel, Bobby Cannavale, and others. It was a good movie. No doubt about it. It was a good movie. It had fantastic performances in it. Joe Pesci will get nominated for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, will win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Undoubtedly.
I can't debate you on that one. So I have a different opinion about how this movie went in my mind. Although everything you said about the acting, like, this was an actor's acting movie. Like, to your point, Joe Pesci shone in every scene. Now, I don't
You
necessarily...
couldn't take your eyes off the screen
No,
when
you
Joe
couldn't.
Pesci...
When he was on, he captivated
I didn't even
every
want to
scene.
blink.
No. I think, didn't we bring toothpicks with us?
We
Just for
should
that
have.
reason? And a whole bunch of eye drops? I felt like I was in Clockwork
hours
Orange
of
watching that film.
toothpicks.
It was like although it was torture to me. So to me, the big thing I have a problem with this is that, number one, it's 3.5 hours, and we both agreed after the movie that this could have been cut
It
40
didn't
minutes.
need to be 3.5
It could have
hours.
been cut 40 minutes. And we paid money in the theater to see this. We could have watched it free on Netflix, but we went to the theater to
I
see
wanted
this.
to see on the big screen.
Yeah, well, understandably so. But so for me, I have a big problem, and you'll hear more about this in my rage, but directors who are past their prime and that have carried on their lives with the clout of their name, and they basically just, go, I'm Scorsese. I'm going to direct a film that...
It was
basically
another
I'm gonna
solid outing
I'm gonna
from Scorsese.
I'm going to please myself with this film and screw everybody else that's watching it. So we're running out of time from last week, so let's move on, I guess, to next week. But let's give it a quick rating. Bryce, would you give it?
Mondo.
I'm going to give it a meh. And it gets extra points for Pesci's acting.
There you go.
Murray, would you give it?
I give it a Mondo.
Ish?
Ish.
You can't. It's got to be Mondo or nothing, buddy. You
It's
can't.
Mondo,
There's no
but
ish in this.
Not enthusiastic Mondo.
It's not an enthusiastic Mondo. Gotcha. So what's coming out this week? So I'm super excited about this because I loved the last one. I think, if you're going to go see a movie called Jumanji, I expect it to be childish and crazy, but I think it's going to be fun. The last one, even Bryce, you said you didn't mind the last one.
I didn't mind the last one, but that doesn't mean we have to make another one.
And another one after that.
Well, I guess we'll have to see because when it comes out and if we see it, we'll have to make a decision on, I think you've got some actors in there. They've added sprinkled a couple more in there, like DeVito.
Yeah.
And
On the plus side, a part of it was shot in Alberta. A part of it was actually shot in Alberta, so that's good.
well, that's going to be a plus, obviously. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't know. What's your thoughts? Yeah, because you just think it's number 3. It's just going to be dumb. Why did they bring it back?
I honestly don't know. It does nothing for me. But we'll find out. I'm probably going to watch it.
But will you go see it in
A
the
certain
theater?
someone sitting at this table probably will drag me to it.
Yes,
so-
that is
Yes.
very true. I will drag
He
you
tends
to
to
it.
do that.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think of the next film?
Well, here's what I think of the next film. And you'll actually be maybe a little bit surprised because it's Black Christmas. Okay?
Love Black Christmas.
Yes.
Me
The
and Kra-
original
me
was
and
fantastic.
Me and Krampus.
Yes.
Krampus.
So this is the third go-around for this movie, though. We had it in 1974, a nice Canadian production. It was excellent. Then we remade it in 2006.
Why?
Exactly, why? Didn't really do anything for me, and now 13 years later, we're making it again. Here's the thing, though. It's got Imogen Poots in it.
Oh.
So all of a sudden, I'm thinking, how bad can it be? I mean, Imogen Poots, if you don't know who she is, you should find out, because she's been in excellent, excellent movies. Vivarium, which actually played at the Calgary International Film Festival this year, along with Castle on the Ground, which also played at the Calgary International Film Festival this year, were both excellent. She was in The Art of Self-Defense, I Kill Giants, Sweet Virginia, Green Room. Everything I'm saying are excellent movies. So she makes good choices. So even though when I first heard about this, I'm like, I am
Yeah, I
so
remember
dreading this movie.
I remember you raging about it for a while.
Yeah, I found out who was in it, and I'm like, well, she had to see something in it. She seems to pick good roles, so I'm going to give it a chance. I can't say that I'm super stoked for it, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you on that. I don't understand remakes of horror films. Like, to me, if it's a classic great horror film, like, why the hell did they fuck up Psycho? Like, they
Yeah.
didn't need to bring that back.
No, you didn't.
It wasn't. There was no need for it. Or Halloween. Like, maybe Rob Zombie's got a thing for redoing great movies and making them crappy, but
well, I think that they threw a bunch of money at him there. I think he did want to make something, maybe not.
But he made 2 Halloween.
He did.
Come on.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's no. He could have made money going back on tour with White Zombie. Would have been way better.
Fair enough.
What else we got next week? Next, Uncut Gems. So this one is I don't know. It's a comedy. It sounds like a comedy because it's got Adam Sandler in it, but I think it's more of a serious role for him.
Yeah, it is.
And actually, to be quite honest, as much as Adam Sandler's comedy movies make me want to throw up, like for a week after seeing it,
His dramas.
his dramas are solid, man. Punch Drunk Love, that movie was great.
Yep.
And I mean, he's probably just been doing a bunch of shitty comedies for so long. He's probably like, I hate myself so much, I'm going to make it dramatic. So I'm kind of excited to actually see this one.
I'm actually really, really, really looking forward to this one, and I'll tell you why.
Ooh, here we go.
I don't know if you've seen Good Time, starring our boy Robert Pattinson, but if you have not seen it, you need
have
to
not.
see it.
It's on my list now.
You need to see it.
Okay.
It's directed by the Safdie brothers.
Oh, okay.
Now, the Safdie brothers are just excellent. They've
Yeah.
released 4 movies. 2 of them not so well known, and for some reason the titles have gone off the top of my head. But if
Murray's
you get a
looking
chance,
it up right now.
Of course I am.
Daddy Longlegs was their first one. I remember that, and it was also excellent. And then they followed it up with something else, and then they made Good Time, which is an absolute classic. So they've hit home runs every time. So I am super looking forward to this.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the cast actually looks pretty solid, right? You got Julia Fox, Kevin Garnett, The Weeknd. I didn't even know he could act, but
I guess we're gonna find out.
Maybe he'll
Maybe
just
he
sing.
can't.
Maybe he'll just sing the whole time.
Well, if anybody can drag a performance out of them, the Safdie brothers will do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm telling you that these guys know how to make a movie.
All right, well, let's just do a quick recap. Jumanji, I'm excited about. Black Christmas, I wasn't, but now you've convinced me I need to. And Uncut Gems, I think we're both excited about. Would you say true?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let's move on to one of my favorite segments. It's called Open Rage.
Open Rage.
And we're starting off with Bryce's Rage this week. Let's hear the rage.
So my open rage is on CGI to make actors look younger. This is just getting distracting. We really got to just stop it. They look like rubber. I don't know why we're doing it. Perfect example, unfortunately, is The Irishman.
Yes.
Because we just saw it.
Yes, it is.
Robert De Niro as a younger man, they're trying to make him look, 35 years
I have
younger.
no clue how old he was the whole movie, except
Yeah,
when he was
he's
almost
200.
dead.
He
He's
looked
like 200 at the end.
He looked like a wax figure. His facial expressions were kind of weird because of it.
And this is going back to actually, sorry to interrupt on your fantastic rage, by the way. I just want to say, this is another flaw of Scorsese's direction in there. It's like another self-induced orgasm for making his own film. But it's like, I'm going to just have all my buddies make a movie, and the only person where I was happy to be brought back is Pesci.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was miscast in that film.
That was the thing. Robert De Niro, I was thinking as I was watching it, Bobby Cannavale, who played dude that, I like steak.
Yeah.
That guy. So I thought that he should have actually been in the De Niro role. I think they
Yes.
could have. Yeah, he was the right age for it.
Yes.
In the beginning, and let's just use makeup to make him look a little older. We've come a long way with makeup.
Yes.
There's no reason to make do the CGI for everybody to make
Well,
them
we
look
got deep
younger,
pockets
older.
like Martin Scorsese. You go, hey, I got nothing else to spend money on. Why don't I spend another $2 million on CGI for this movie
If you go over-
that I miscast because I've lost all my skills.
Well, let's not go that far. But yeah, no, and we've been doing this for ages. I mean, you go back and, when they tried to make Arnold Schwarzenegger look younger in the Terminator, and that was just
Although,
ridiculous.
isn't the Terminator's movies all like CGI now? So it's
pretty
like
much,
it's like all shot on a green screen, right?
Well, and I don't know if you knew about this, but apparently we're going to bring James Dean back.
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seriously?
We are seriously going to bring James Dean back. We're resurrecting him for the movie Finding Jack, which is a Vietnam War film. So, and here's the thing. He's not going to be in like a bit of the film. Apparently he's in like 30 to 40% of the film.
Oh, my God.
So, he died in 1955. We're going to be bringing him back
We're
in
going to colorize him
1920.
to bring him back?
Oh, yeah, it's like, where does this stop?
Well, I can tell you where it's going to stop. It's going to stop with the new Star Wars.
I don't think that'll be the last time they're going to use it.
Well, they're gonna have to bring somebody back. Carrie Fisher's gonna be back probably.
They're going to use it as much as they want, but yeah, that's the that's the next thing on the horizon. But
Well, I don't know. I you know what? I 100% agree with you. Like, I do love CGI when it's done really well, but I don't like it when they take faces and. You know,
And that's the whole thing. There's definitely a place for CGI, but I'm sick of seeing let's get away from even the faces and making people look younger. If I see one more CGI blood splatter, it looks ridiculous.
yeah, man. If they can't use real blood, what are they doing?
Just use your dye and corn syrup and let's get some real looking blood, man.
Let's do like the original Carrie and use real pig's blood.
There
Come
you
on.
go. Let's use some real blood.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I know. I mean, it's not necessarily going to your sensibilities about animal rights or anything, but come on. There's lots of animals we kill every day. What are we doing with all their blood?
Yes, indeed.
Cover some actors in blood for a change.
for sure,
Well, I can think of a few people I'd like to cover in blood,
yeah,
especially from that movie, The Irishman.
yes.
Well, go ahead, Jim.
Well, jumping on the bandwagon about that. I just think it's not really needed that they have those. Like, there's so many great young actors that are out there that Scorsese could have given a chance to, and yet he picks his cronies to play. I mean, that I couldn't even watch half the movie other than it was so long. But watching De Niro on screen, supposedly being a 35-year-old married to a 32-year-old, and he's like 60 or 70 now?
Yeah.
It was painful.
It wasn't painful. I could get past it, but
But you couldn't get past the guys in the middle of the road when then they blew up the car and he had a phone to call an Uber.
exactly. That was just ridiculous.
Okay, well, I see your point there. You got more to rage on about that? Is there anybody else you want to talk about for the CGI?
The CGI? Nah, I think I'm done with the CGI. Let's go on with.
I think that was a pretty good rage. I'm gonna give that 2 Mondos up.
Cool.
So my rage this week, my open rage this week, is directors that once were fantastic
And still are.
and they're not anymore.
right.
It's kind of like they're just dialing it in. So The Irishman is a perfectly good example because, in my opinion, I thought, this is not Scorsese of the old days. Although he's made enough gangster movies that it was kind of just, to me, it was dialing it in. It was kind of like, hey, another gangster movie that I made with my buddies. And you know what? I've got money, so I'm going to CGI the shit out of it. And then I'm going to drag it on for 3.5 hours when it really only needed to be 2 hours. And, it was on a topic that, yeah, granted, it was interesting. But it's kind of like, dude, like, maybe make something original. It's just like, I've got a formula. I just want to make gangster movies. Use CGI blood, CGI faces, and have old people play young people. Like, it's kind of like, dude, why are you doing this? Go back, find some good acting classes and teach somebody something.
Yeah, but 3.5 hours.
Of pain.
But it was all worth it because
And suffering.
I got to see Joe Pesci for the first time in like 10 years.
That's true.
And I got to see him, I believe, at the top of his game. I don't know that I've ever seen him better, and that's saying something.
What?
'Cause-
He was in Gone Fishing, you know.
Yeah, I know he was in Gone Fishing. Probably the low light of his career.
Hello.
That made him take about an 8-year break, and then he came back and I think he starred in that Robert De Niro directed movie.
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
was.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yes.
Got my back.
But yeah, no.
Okay, so I can't debate you on Pesci. Like, to me, that is the whole movie. Like, you could have just had everybody off and
It was enough
just
to
have
give it a
Pesci
Mondo, really.
No, it wasn't. You can't give a movie, a whole 3.5 hour movie, a Mondo just because
I
Pesci
just
was
watched
fabulous.
the best supporting actor for the Academy Awards this year.
Yeah, and then you watched it in a movie that was terrible.
I watched him in a
terribly
movie
boring,
that was pretty good.
It was just meh.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So, okay, so that's one. But the other one, which I want to just, I don't know. This is I don't
Lay
want
it
to say
on me.
controversial topic,
Yes.
but Tarantino. I don't think Tarantino's made a good movie since he made the one where they were in Paris.
I don't
And you
even know
the
what
one
you're
I'm talking
I
about.
don't even know what you're
Movie in
talking
Paris?
about.
Okay, you can't say he's made an original script since Kill Bill.
What I can say
But okay, no,
is he's a master craftsman.
He's not a master craftsman.
He absolutely is.
His last film was like he just
Awesome. Yes, I
No,
agree.
he threw up on
Yes.
Tarantino threw up on the screen. It was however many hours. It felt like 7 days. I was watching that film.
Oh, if I could
there
I
wasn't
think
anything
someday I might
redeeming in
watch
it.
that film 7 days straight because it was so good. I could watch it over and over
The last
again.
20 minutes were great.
They were okay.
That was the only good thing about it.
I know not of what you speak, my friend.
It was just basically an homage to himself. It was like a self-absorbed torture session for me, where I'm watching this guy do a film about nothing. It was like he was doing a Seinfeld episode that wouldn't end with characters that were not even well developed. The only thing good about that was the Bruce Lee, the little tiny
Which was
Bruce Lee
awesome.
clip. Yeah, that was great. And then the end, which was a spin-off
was-
on the Polanski murder, which
Yep.
is really what the story was about, but it wasn't about that at all.
Well, no. That would why would we've seen that?
Yeah, we know how that
You're
ends.
sitting here saying, "Well, I want him to make something original." So
Yeah.
he did. He put something original out
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
How
he
is
put-
this not original?
He put 20 minutes of
It
originality.
was his own twist on the
Oh.
Charles Manson stuff, which
Well, I actually I like it when he does that. That's why I did like his great film, Inglourious Bastards.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, but then he just took that and he went, I haven't got any new ideas, so why don't I do? Okay, I did it with the Jewish community, and I did it with a woman in Jackie Brown, and then no, maybe I should. Oh, and I also did it with a woman in Kill Bill, and then I was like, oh wait, I haven't done it with the black community.
You
so,
hadn't.
So I'll make. So
That's
I'm like,
true.
I got no other ideas.
So he
in
made
my
another
head.
excellent
I got
movie.
That's
no
right.
other ideas in my head. So why don't I write a movie where first off, you've got a person that's
I'm not
been
going to argue that
hardened.
he doesn't have common themes throughout his movies. He absolutely does. But to say that they're all kind of the same, I don't agree with that.
Right, they
Neither
have
do
different
I.
actors in it. That's for sure.
They do.
And the dialogue is not much different, but it's.
I think he gets tremendous performances out of his actors every single time. No, the dialogue's not that much different, but I like his dialogue. Do people talk like that? No. But if
no.
I wanted to see people talk, talk like people talk, I just go talk to someone. I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind when people don't talk like you're not like regular people talk, but it's just his dialogue is mundane and drawn out, non-essential.
It's very witty, I agree.
No, I don't think I laughed in that entire movie.
I
Now,
think I laughed.
Granted, so
Many times.
The thing is with Tarantino, not with just beating him up, because I just also beat up Scorsese, but Tarantino
He's
started
beating
at
up
such
two
a
of our
high.
better filmmakers.
No,
That is correct.
They were great filmmakers,
And still are.
no, that's not true. So he had such a high fall to come, and it didn't take him long to get there. Because when he ran out of ideas, and he was just like, "Man, I'm gonna make another movie with the same plot. Just I'll throw the dice in like a Yahtzee set of dice and go, rolla, splat. Oh, okay, there's the script, plot, blah blah blah. Take 5 minutes, write it out, and bam, there it is." But he was a great director, and he had great films. And to my point, stay great, stay fresh, stay original, get scripts like even his Hateful Eight, man. It was it was a rewrite of another film. And then the first 20 minutes was a freaking snow.
Oh, the first
carriage.
20 minutes was awesome.
Oh, I know. It's because there was walking involved from a horse.
I love a movie with walking.
Yeah, and horses walking for 20 minutes.
You know what? You're always obsessed with like stuff happening in movies. you don't need stuff happening. You just need
something to happen. Other than snowfall
stuff
and horses.
happening's overrated.
Just go to Spruce Meadows if you want to watch horses walking around.
I like a
in the
nice
snow.
methodical pace.
Well, you like to be drawn into this level of nihilism through any film that gets you to your point of, is it euphoria? Is that what it is?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, I think that's enough for my rage. I think for those directors, beware out there, because I will tear you a new one if you can't stay fresh. If you're not giving me something new, why make something at all? That's my theory. And you can't tell me anything was new on that film we watched, The Irishman. Nothing. Nothing was new other than Pesci.
Got to see Pesci.
Yes,
Loved
that's it. That's all. You get Pesci.
And that makes it a mondo.
You get Pesci, and that's it.
That's enough. What more do you want? You are one greedy bastard.
I am a little greedy, I gotta
Mr.
say.
Al Pacino wasn't too bad either.
Al Pacino is the same character he's in every single freaking movie.
I take a flamethrower to this place.
That is
Stay
right.
alone to my little friends. It's like, it's his whole shtick. He's like, Al Pacino, can you act anything other than just crazy and angry?
He's got two levels where he's just kind of,
yeah,
one
exactly.
level, and then he goes right into.
Yeah. And you almost sounded like you could have done. That's a great Pacino impression.
That is
buddy.
my Pacino impression these days.
I love it. All right, so let's move on from our raging, because I'm tired of being so angry all the time.
You're making me angry.
I'm getting tense. We need to hire some massage therapists in here, Jeff, to rub us
Murray,
down.
get in there.
Murray,
I
get
don't
in
think
there
so.
and work those knots, buddy.
They don't pay me enough.
So we got some independent films that came out. And as it happened to be, a very great film fest run by our friends at Calgary Underground Film Fest played this last weekend. And it started on Wednesday and ran till Sunday. A lot of us are heavily involved with Cuff. And we're just going to highlight some of kind of our favorites that we had from the festival. So, Bryce, why don't you start off with...
Yep. So we took in Mr. Toilet, the world's number 2 man. Real good film. It's just about a Singapore man who's a crusader for global sanitation through toilets. It's quite good. And it touches upon that, but it's also kind of a movie just about a guy who has a certain way of getting his message across, and he kind of found out that maybe that's not the way to get it across to certain cultures. So it was a lot of culture clashing in it. It was a real interesting film, not just from the toilet aspect, but from the
who doesn't
personal
want to know
aspect
about
as
toilets?
well. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was a good little film.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that was actually probably one of my favorite films of the festival, and I was lucky enough to preview every film that we got to preview with Cuff, because I just so happened to be a previewer with them. So this was actually one of my favorites. I think anybody who has a passion for international sanitation should check this film out. I mean, someone's going to pick it up. A streaming service is going to pick it up.
Oh yeah,
for sure, and well worth a see. Interestingly enough, this movie to me kind of crosses over a little bit into the Inside the Mind of Bill Gates, which is on Netflix right now.
Yep.
Because he actually plays in one of the episodes. So if you guys haven't seen that, highly recommend you see Inside the Mind of Bill Gates. In fact, when I saw that on Netflix, I was in a very depressed state, probably after seeing a terrible movie like The Irishman, and then happened to be watch this. I was like, this is hope. Billionaires who have money can actually make a difference, and actually that's a bit of a subtext to the Mr. Toilet as well, right? That billionaires need to do something with all their money because they're never going to be able to spend it.
We all need to do something.
Yeah. Murr.
Yo.
Do you want to talk about QT8 a bit? You got a chance to check that out?
I did. Well, I was working all weekend, so I only get to see a few films, but that was one of them. I stayed for that. And unlike my friend Jim, I am a huge Tarantino fan. And I loved his last film.
Apparently, Jim was a Tarantino fan.
I
but
was a big
I
Tarantino
still am.
fan.
As am I.
And yeah, I guess it's a good thing for Jim that Mr. Tarantino is retiring from directing soon.
Yes, thank you.
But this is a documentary about the first 8 films that he did. And it started at the first with...
Reservoir Dogs.
Thank you. And then, went right up to Hollywood. And yeah, the director was there and the producer, so there was a nice Q&A at the end of it.
Cool.
And yeah, and she actually got to talk to most of the stars of the films. Uma Thurman declined to be interviewed for obvious reasons. And then towards the end, they kind of touched on the whole Harvey Weinstein thing and how, Quentin tried to distance himself kind of from that. But
He wasn't alone.
But yeah, I found a very, very good documentary, and I'm not a huge fan of documentaries, but I enjoyed it. And a cute little tidbit, which I'm, the king of useless information, which I heard on an interview earlier, but they had it during the rolling credits, is 2 rules that he has on his set. One is no phones ever, no cell phones ever.
Like it.
Not allowed to use them at all.
Well, you could. Show
I don't know
up
how
anytime.
anybody walks around with one of them walk-around
Phones. And the other one is if you fall asleep on his
How
set.
do you hunt for Pokemon on a daily basis?
That's right.
without
How do
it?
you Pokemon
What's
Go?
Pokemon?
Exactly.
Exactly. You're
People have a
not.
life.
You're not up on your Pokemon.
And the second tidbit was that apparently, if you fall asleep on his set, he takes a picture of you with a
a wiener in your mouth.
huge purple, let's just
Veiny
say,
wiener.
women's sexual accessory.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to use the word, but
You mean dildo?
Dildo?
Yeah, it's the word. And it's like.
What's wrong with dildo?
What's wrong with dildo?
It's like it's really big, but they take a picture of you.
It was a really big dildo.
Well,
How big was the dildo?
Yeah, was it a really big purple dildo?
I'm not sure exactly, but yeah. So that was something Michael Madsen shared at the end of the film. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I liked it.
Cool.
Cool.
What else we got? Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. So this one, I didn't hate it when I saw it. I think.
A ringing endorsement.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
Let's open
it's a
this with
ringing
I
endorsement.
didn't hate it.
I didn't hate
hate
it.
it.
It was interesting enough because I like the concept of it. Because basically the film, because it was, I mean, he does happen to be gay, the character in it, but
Yep.
he came across as being so significantly gay in this film that it had a bunch of following. So it has some pluses and minuses to it, but I just didn't find the whole idea interesting enough. But anyway, I guess I'd probably give it a meh, but it's still something we're seeing to see that someone's career was destroyed because of how they were directed in the film, really, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting as a concept for a doc. So, I mean, it's probably worth a look, but I didn't love it, is all I'm saying. I think it was worth a look just for the controversy of what it was talking about. But interesting how his career has come back because of the LGBTQ
Right.
community that are supporting him and saying, yeah, it is.
It's a topical film.
It's a great gay film, and, why not enjoy it for that? But, of course, he didn't feel that way when he was making it, so... and the other one, which I thought, like, if you think Calgary Underground Film Fest and you think docs,
I missed it, and I really need to see this
and
movie.
the Church of the Subgenius. Everybody needs to see this film and understand the humor of this film. It's basically a cult that was started way back in the 70s, and it was just done as a joke. These guys, and it just became this huge thing. And it's still going on to this day. It was kind of funny. We know some locals here that actually were in the cult. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny. Nothing to say? No?
Yeah,
You like cults?
I didn't see it.
I was there during that day. I was volunteering,
cult?
and I actually got to talk to one of my friends who is a huge follower, and he showed me some cool stuff on his phone, and I didn't know it was a thing.
And that's the great thing about cults, right? Unless you really are in one, you don't even know about them.
No.
True.
Kind of a little sad, right? I mean, who doesn't want to join a cult?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I don't, but
I don't know. There's a lot of good things about cults. So yeah, that was Cuff Docs, a little preview of Cuff Docs.
Kool-Aid?
Yeah,
Like the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Well, that probably wasn't the cult I might not want to join.
Yeah.
But there's other cults, like the ones where they have promiscuous sex everywhere and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only for the leader.
lots of
That's right.
of drugs.
Only the leader gets to have
and
sex.
Drug-induced orgies. Like, who doesn't want that from a cult? I don't know. If I'm going to join a cult, that's got to be the number one thing on my list. Mondos. Or not Mondos. Monos.
Monos.
Bryce, what's the
Monos.
story about Monos?
Monos.
And not the disease. It's actually a movie, right?
Yeah, it's a movie. I'll just give you a brief description of it. On a remote mountaintop, 8 kids with guns watch over a hostage and a conscripted milk cow.
It sounds great.
Yeah. It sounds okay. Directed by Alejandro Landes.
Oh.
It has a lot of buzz. I know it was playing at Calgary International Film Festival this
Okay,
year.
yeah.
And a bunch of people said, you got to go see it. You got to go see it. Dude that actually programmed it went out of his way to find me and said, you got to go see it. And I was like, all right.
I wonder why he sought you out. He must know something about film.
I guess I must, because he seems to seek me out like constantly.
Secret stalker.
I tell you. But I didn't make time for it then. I may make time for it at some point here, but
Okay.
and here's the thing. I've not only him, but almost everybody that's seen it has told me, yeah, it's really, really good. So
Well,
for some reason, it's not connecting with me. But at one point, I'm probably going to force myself to watch it, and I'll probably
I don't know,
enjoy it.
if you close your eyes and you think 8 kids,
Yeah.
like have that great
Okay, I'm closing
TV
my eyes.
voice. 8
kids.
kids with guns.
Right.
Watch over a hostage
Right?
and a conscripted milk cow.
Yeah, it's still doing nothing for me.
I don't
Nothing
know.
for
Conscripted milk. Why would they even? The
Why
description is about milk
would they?
cow.
Yeah. I
mean-
guess that's intriguing in itself.
Kids with guns, milk cows.
The cow.
Everywhere?
That's all I need is the cow, and I'm there.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
go.
Because
I
you know
don't
what it needs? It needs more cowbell.
Yeah, more cow. You gotta have more cowbell. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to see that too. I think I would see it. So these, again, just reminding people, these are the independent films that sort of came out last week or coming out this week. And then one that's actually kind of close to home. Now, if I apologize if I pronounce this wrong, but Nipawistamasoin, We Will Stand Up.
Yeah,
And
I
so
don't
this
think you got
one-
that pronunciation even close.
I don't know. We have no checker here, so
No.
so I'm going to say maybe. That's what I'm going to say, maybe. Anyway, this one follows that story about the young guy in Saskatchewan, the young Aboriginal guy who got killed, and then the jury was like made up of nobody that was Aboriginal. So it's kind of like
Not a
this
jury
don't
of his
seem-
peers.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
Nope.
like a jury of his peers at all. So and then the guy got off. So I think it's going to have a lot of controversy, and it could. I'm going to give a mini prediction here, but it may make an Oscar buzz on this
think
film.
so?
Yeah.
Really?
Because of the controversy and what's going on in the Aboriginal communities in Canada right now. So for as far as
I'd be surprised.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see because we don't have that list yet. But I don't know. It's one to watch. I do want to go see it. I definitely will see it. Streaming. What did we see this week? I saw.
I don't know,
couple
Jim. What
things.
did you see?
I saw some stuff on Disney Plus. I saw some stuff on Shudder. I saw some stuff on Amazon.
Lay it on us.
All right, so I rewatched the original Thor and the original
Yes.
Avengers. I know Murray's a huge Thor boy. Is that like his fan club? They're Thor boys.
Are you a Thor boy?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Let's
Thor
go with
boy.
that.
Thor
Murray
boy.
the Thor boy.
Murray the Thor boy, running around in a loincloth.
Cloth.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot how much I enjoyed the original Avengers, and I forgot how much I actually enjoyed the originals. Because I think last week you and I were chatting about when I went back into Disney Plus and watched the original Iron Man,
Right.
which I was blown away. Like, as much as I don't know, there's not a lot of new content on Disney Plus, but they got everything on there. Like,
Yeah.
it's just massive the content they have. Right?
Right.
Sure.
I don't know. You know what? I even watched Home Alone 1. Like, I didn't
What?
list it, but I did.
Well, it's
have to
Christmas, you
admit it.
gotta.
Yeah.
Man, you got
Plus
too
it-
much free time.
Plus, because you made me see Pesci in a positive light, I had to watch him again.
Fair enough.
And he was brilliant in it. But you know what was on Shudder, and I'm not sure if all you guys have Shudder or not, but it's for $5. It's so worth it. There's so much great horror in there. Bride of Reanimator.
I love Bride of Reanimator.
I know, right? It's like the finger and the eyeball scene. It's
It's
just
awesome.
brilliant. There's not even any purpose for it, but it was just great. You got like, oh my god! So obviously, Reanimator's on my top 10 horror films of all time.
Top 10?
Yeah, top of horror films.
Top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
Wow.
Yeah, totally. Stuart Gordon, that guy can do no wrong.
He was great. There's no question.
Brilliant. And Bride is just like, oh my god, it just took the campiness level just that much further. So for me, it was fantastic. And then One Child Nation, which I saw on Amazon.
Yeah, I saw that actually at the Calgary International Film Festival.
Sweet.
Which was
a-
so good.
It was an amazing doc.
It really was.
Like I don't know, it kind of blew my mind. The whole concept is in the 70s when China just went and said, "Yep, one kid for all."
Yep.
Kind of like no soup for you, but it was like one kid for you. And then all the shit that they do to the people that have more than one kid is not good.
Just heartbreaking.
It's not good at
No.
all. And it's
well,
as you're
and
watching it-
not even just that, but the fact that they really do love to have sons, and if they had a daughter, oh my goodness.
yeah, the scenes in it, like it's not for the squeamish, I can tell you that. But there's scenes in it where they've got dead babies like everywhere, and
Just
it's kind of like
so
And I know,
heartbreaking.
that's who. There's a song about that. I can't remember who wrote.
Dead babies?
Yeah.
I think Alice Cooper wrote a song called Dead
Yeah,
Babies.
there we go. Yeah, so I mean, if Alice Cooper sings, I mean, that could have been the theme song for it. But I mean, there was literally dead babies everywhere. Can't get the tone right. Sorry. But yeah,
You shouldn't be laughing after saying that.
dead
No.
babies. I don't know. Sometimes. Well, when you think of it with Alice Cooper,
Dead babies are hilarious.
when it's Alice Cooper,
And it's Alice Cooper.
Fair enough.
exactly. I mean, real dead babies are not hilarious. That's a sad moment. But yeah. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that to anybody who has Amazon. Is definitely check out that film. What about you? What did you see this week?
Well, I don't have near as much spare time as Jim here. I watched one movie streaming on Amazon Prime. Watched The Report. It's about the CIA cover-up and the
that's with my boy
detention
Adam in it.
interrogation. Yeah. So the cover-up of the detention and interrogation program following 9/11 with Adam Driver and Annette Bening.
Was Adam Driver fabulous in
and
it?
John Hamm hamming it up as usual.
Was Adam Driver fabulous in it?
No, he wasn't.
What?
He was fine. The movie was
Are
boring.
you talking? Are you
That's
saying?
coming from me.
Are you saying Adam Driver was a potato in that movie?
Adam Driver. No, I'm saying the movie was a potato, but Adam Driver had nothing to work with. There was,
But he still should be able to pull something out of his ass.
he really didn't. It was just. Here's what you should do if you're gonna watch this movie for 90 minutes or 2 hours, or if it seemed like 4. I don't know. Just go watch like an hour of C-SPAN. It'll be about the same experience.
Or just rewatch The Irishman on Netflix.
No.
Well, it just had a lot of good actors in it.
It
so-
did have a lot of good actors in it, but to be
I mean,
honest,
Annette Bening is usually
you know
pretty
what?
solid.
We've already spent way too much time talking about this movie. It is not worth my breath.
Not sad. Okay, well, so I'm going to assume from that you're going to give The Report
Rage.
Well, I'm giving One Child Nation Mondo.
And I can also give it a Mondo.
Perfect. And of course, Bride of Reanimator is a Super Mondo.
Mondo.
Flick of the week. What do you got?
Well, I'm just going to go with my flick of the week is just the Joe Pesci performance in The Irishman. Once again.
That's a performance. That's not actually a flick.
Yeah, well,
Suck it.
exactly. What do you imply? This is free-flowing stuff here, man. If I want to make Joe Pesci my flick of the week, I'll make him the flick of the week. So,
Okay. knock
if you're
yourself
gonna get down to semantics, then yes, The Irishman is my flick of the week, with the tremendous performance by Joe Pesci.
All right. Well, Mara, what you got? What was your flick of the week? What'd you see that you liked?
Well, I've been unusually busy this week, so I didn't see a lot, but I did see The Irishman with these two gentlemen, and I would say is also my flick of the week. And I enjoyed most of the performances in the movie. Again, 3.5 hours, long time to sit, but I thought it was a
Pack a
decent
lunch.
movie. I mean,
I'm surprised we all didn't fall asleep.
It was
3.5 hours.
It was
of
no
pain.
Goodfellas, but it had its moments.
You know, I actually felt when I was watching it like I was in Clockwork Orange, when they were torturing Michael McDowell with his eyes open. That's what I felt The Irishman was to me.
Blasphemy.
Was a torture session, other than Joe Pesci. My flick of the week is gonna have to be, I was gonna say Knives Out because it was a solid film.
It was so good.
But my pick of the week is the Dead Babies, One Child Nation.
Babies.
I just think that it touched you in a place that maybe is uncomfortable when you say the word dead babies in it, but it's emotionally.
It was very moving.
It was moving. The emotions that came from that film were incredible. It was a really, really well done.
Well
doc.
done.
Yeah, that for sure. That would be mine. All right, so this is our final segment of the night, and it's probably one of our favorites. It's called Rage, Mondo, or Meh. And Murray's going to shoot at us some quick jabs and we'll be able to tell you how we feel about these.
All right, here we go. Okay, first up, Adam Driver.
He's Mondo.
Mr. Tom Cruise.
Mondo.
Meh.
Adrian Brody.
Mondo.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mondo.
And Best Actor in Canada, Kiefer Sutherland.
Meh.
I disagree heartily. All right, Natalie Portman.
Mondo. Love
Gwyneth,
Natalie Portman.
there you go. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Meh.
Jason Momoa.
Meh.
Really? Dakota Johnson.
Meh.
Kate McKinnon.
Meh.
Wow, tough room.
Hey, we didn't
All right, and the final ones. David, oh my God. Kochner? How do you say that?
David Kushner.
Kushner.
Oh, David Kushner.
Mondo.
Mondo.
There you go. That was one of Bryce's.
Otherwise known as David Cockner.
Yeah, Cockner.
Whatever.
From Cockney.
Christina Applegate.
Oh, Mondo.
Meh.
Steve Carell.
Mondo.
Meh.
Fred Willard.
Mondo.
And Miss Squeaky Voice herself, Fran Drescher.
Meh.
If it was only Spinal Tap that I ever saw her in,
Okay, well,
Mondo.
you can't pull that out of your ass in the last draw, man. That's not her whole career. She's not being the nanny. Yeah,
exactly.
it was the best part of her
She
career.
peaked early, but if I have to,
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, 100%.
24,
Jeff. You nailed
hello.
it, buddy.
Anyway.
24.
there we go.
Well, what I'd like to say about Fran Drescher's performance in Spinal Tap was her acting in that movie was turned up to 11.
It was indeed.
Well, that's all we have for this week, everyone. We hope you turn in next week, and we'd like to just
Hot mic.
We just hot mic. We'd like to thank Jeff at Alchemy Studios here in Calgary, and we want to wish you all a happy film rage and enjoy the movies. Thanks for showing up.
Did I touch something or it just spiked for some reason?
I don't know what happened to that.
Oh. Did it touch the mic? Is that what or the cord? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't talk very much. I don't talk much anyway.
Yeah, so we were
53 minutes. Yeah.
Not bad. That was good. Good.
Good
We
first
could've gone
try.
on with a few more raging and
Yeah.
some chats.
Yeah.
But we wanted to kind of make it a little shorter this week, just to.
Yeah,
That's okay. It doesn't need to be.
Doesn't need to be a full hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like you guys were talking about movies. It's probably better to have really good content for shorter than drag it on for